So let's read the question. Half the perimeter of a rectangular garden whose length is 5 meters more than its breadth is 35 meters. Find the dimensions of the garden. So see, whenever you have a problem which involves a shape, it could be a rectangle, a circle, a triangle, any shape, the first step is always draw your figure, right? So here we are talking about a rectangular garden. So let's first draw a rectangle. So let's say this over here is our rectangular garden. So you can even label it as our rectangular garden. Now in a rectangle, how many dimensions are there? There are 2 dimensions, the length and the breadth. Now do we know the length? No. Do we know the breadth? No. So there are 2 variables over here, the length and the breadth. So first step is draw your figure. Next step, identify the unknowns. So there are 2 unknowns over here, length and breadth. Next, what do we do with the unknowns? We assume them. So let the length be L and let the breadth be B. So let me write it down. So I've assumed the 2 variables that, let's say the length of the rectangle is L and breadth be B. So you can mark it over here. Let the length be L and the breadth be B. So we have drawn our figure. Next we assume the unknowns. What is the next step? Frame the equations. For that, let's revisit the problem. See, we are given that the length is 5 meters more than the breadth. I repeat, the first thing given to us is the length is 5 meters more than its breadth. So length is 5 meters more than the breadth. I repeat, length is 5 more than the breadth. This is equation number 1. Next we are given half the perimeter of a rectangular garden whose length is and breadth is so much is 35 meters. So half the perimeter of the rectangle is 35 meters. So what is perimeter of a rectangle? See, perimeter of a rectangle, I'll mention it over here. Perimeter is 2 times length plus breadth. I repeat, what is perimeter of a rectangle? It is 2 times length plus breadth. Now half of this. So what is half of this? Divide by 2 divided by 2. So we get P by 2, that is half the perimeter is 2 divided by 2, L plus P. So half the perimeter of this rectangle, meaning length plus breadth. So L plus B, half the perimeter is given to us as 35 meters. So these over here are the 2 equations. So 2 variables, 2 equations, we can easily solve them, right? So let me first get this equation also in this form. That is both variables on one side, constant on the other side. So this equation will become L minus B is equal to 5. I will bring the B over here. So L minus B is 5. So now we basically have to solve these pair of linear equations. Now notice carefully, what is the coefficient of L over here? Plus 1, plus 1. What about the coefficient of B? Here the coefficient of B is plus 1. Here the coefficient of B is minus 1. So whenever we have equations in which the coefficient of one variable is same but opposite sign. See, in both the equations, the coefficient of B is 1. Here also 1, here also 1. Here it is plus 1, here it is minus 1. So whenever we have same coefficient and opposite signs, what do? Simply add the 2 equations, right? So I'll do equation 1 plus equation 2. So I have equation number 1 plus equation number 2. So equation 1 plus equation 2 means left hand side of equation 1 plus left hand side of equation 2 is equal to right hand side of equation 1 plus right hand side of equation 2. So why do we do this? See, minus B plus B cancel off. So we have eliminated a variable, L plus L, 2L, 5 plus 35, 40. So from here we get L as 40 divided by 2, that is L is equal to 20. So we've got the value of L. How do we get the value of B? Substitute this value of L either in this equation or in this equation, your choice. Let's say choose this equation over here. So write it down over here. L plus B is 35. L plus B is 35. Now what is the value of L we just got? 20. So replace L by 20. So 20 plus B is equal to 35. So what is B? It is 35 minus 20. I repeat, take the 20 over there. So 35 minus 20. So we get the value of B as 15. So we have got both the unknowns. L is 20, B is 15. So what do we have to find? We have to find the dimensions of the garden, that is length and breadth. So we have L and 20. So we'll write over here, dimensions of the garden. So length and breadth. So what is the length? It is 20. Now everything is given to us as in meters. So length is 20 meters and breadth is 15 meters. So this is how you solve the question. I repeat, whenever you have a problem involving shapes, first draw your figure. It becomes easy to visualize. Now the two unknowns over here, length and breadth. So let the length be L and breadth be B. First thing given to us is length is 5 more than the breadth. Next we are given that half the perimeter is 35 meter. So what is perimeter for rectangle? 2 times length plus breadth. So what is half of perimeter means? Divide by 2. So it becomes length plus breadth. So half the perimeter, meaning length plus breadth, is equal to 35. We have two equations and two unknowns. Solve them. As you can see, the coefficient of B is same and opposite sign. Here +1 -1. So whenever you have a pair of equations in which coefficients are same but of opposite sign, that is +1 -1, right? Simply add the two equations. So we eliminate B, solve for L, substitute L, get the value of B, right? So the length and breadth of this garden are 20 meters and 15 meters respectively. So this is how you solve this question.